Thank you, Reza. And thank you all for being here. I will start by answering the first question. Did DNC 2017 really reach the target set? I think the expected accomplishment was 4. One is really did really this setting showcase on the state of art of the adapting the Nexus approaches. From the UN perspective and from the participant here, many case studies has been shared. The framework which has been like the SDGs, which offer a great opportunity to come with innovative technology and infrastructure project, which applied the Nexus elsewhere in the countries at local level. The 2 overarching themes, being it the multi-use land use approach, being it the sustainable cities and resilient cities, has also case example has been drawn from that to show how this can be done. What has been new and helped do that is really the fact that it's really not a kind of monologue or a kind of monotonous way of approaching it. We did have keynote speeches. We do have parallel sessions, the World Cafe, and all these come up with the complementary way and ideas on how the examples around the world has been shared. Some key example which has been propped out when talking with some of colleagues in the room was really the case of Tunisia, where involvement of local communities showcase on that how the global goal can be downscaled and applied at the local level with the involvement and translating what the World Water Development Report has been coming up with recommendation, using the wastewater as untapped resources. Case of countries applying tools to mitigate flood, like the case of Tucson in Arizona, has been also showcased and listed as something which experience need to be shared. A case of even the Dresden cities on how we deal with the risk management, how we can use the Nexus approach to showcase this. There are some also, just some example to say that in this perspective of the first expected accomplishment, we can respond yes. Providing science evidence. This also, with the keynote and the parallel session, and even the opportunity of the World Cafe, have came up with key messages that various research resources are interconnected, and their management need also to be done in a more integrated way, using the Nexus approach. And what is also needed is not only the interconnectivity or the continuum for source to sea linkages, the circular economy, but also to look at how we could, in all the things we are doing, being it soil, water, or waste, to look into the bigger picture and see how this can be interconnected. From the international organization and UN perspective, we also see, and most of our colleagues and friends I talked to here say that even within the UN, there are need to apply this Nexus approach to ourselves, to really come out in our boxes and work to breaking the silos, breaking the my mandate, which can be applied, and supporting the countries which are already applying the Nexus approach on the ground, even if they are not linking it at what has been set at the global level. This also we can say, yes, the DNC 2017 has provided experience and has provided example of what is really well done at the local level. The question remained on how to translate it at the national level, which still remained a challenge. We had a third expected accomplishment, identifying knowledge gaps and priorities. And here again, looking at what has been shared, the priority is still that they are important to have the Nexus approach, which help us really to work together to build the bridges and to share experience. And more, what is needed is more project which shows the case, which make the linkages, which say that what, for example, the country was applying in Netherlands, for example, I talked with one of participants, but how do we really link it to the Nexus approach? Is it really the Nexus approach you are applying? Or are we just changing the fashion, saying that we move from integrated water resources management to Nexus to another words? So making the linkages and showing that what we are doing make changes. The regulation measures an incentive to increase wastewater acceptance and reuse, to increase the connectivity, even if you are looking in the soil. I like the presentation when it was showed that when you are looking at soil, you can be really far deep under the ground to really see what is happening out. But you have to lift your head and see what is happening and make the connectivities. The complexity has also been highlighted as a kind of complex situation, complex problem, which require complex and integrated solutions. What is missing in what has been like gaps is that this DNC 2017 has been very silent in the SDG 5, the gender perspective. It has been quite silent on that. The economic side of it also. We talked about a lot of technologies, and what the message which is coming is that a lot of technology is out there. What is missing is how we make the good connection on governance, on policies, on rules and regulations, and the financial, innovative financial mechanism. And that it also shows that we need to decouple what urbanization, and the thinking that if we have to do urbanization, we need really to deplete our resources, to degrade our resources, that this can be done in a more Nexus way so that you have urbanization in a more resilient cities. This also has been achieved. The first one, before I move to the others, is that the interlinkages between the goals, because the goals themselves are a kind of can conflict each other, and reaching one goal can really lead to misreaching one. And the example which has been really highlighted here was food security. If you tackle the food security on the SDGs 2, how do you make sure that you are not depleting water resources, that you are not polluting the soil and the land? How do you make sure that you really bridge the sector, a dialogue among the sector in a more Nexus way? So for the first question, we can respond yes, but we need maybe to integrate some more thinking and more holistic looking at the SDGs. Now, when it's come to what we have as a international agenda, what needs to be done, and what is the number of cases from applying or translating the global agendas into the national ways. I think some countries has already showing us what needs to be done. And at international agencies and UN perspective, what needs to be done is to listen and really to respond to the need, based on the balance, the need from the countries, where the needs are, and what are they doing already, and where the knowledge in terms of reporting, in terms of monitoring, in terms of sharing data, in terms of sharing experience, which we can help gather elsewhere and translate it at the level where it is needed. The challenge which is at applying at the local level, which has been successfully highlighted, how do we as international agencies and UN agencies help it be upscale at the national level and having the local to regional way of doing it. Challenges still is governance, finance, disconnection between the global level and the national one, where at the international agencies and UN agencies we can help break that one. And lastly, we need also, I mentioned in the beginning that the Nexus is not only for the countries, it's not only for the intersectoral, it's between us as international agencies to work together, to talk together. And some example on, for example, the World Water Assessment Program is one example on how we can work together. Other initiatives, like the safe use of wastewater in agriculture, is another example on how we can work together. And how we can listen to the need to the countries to really reply and apply and help support, because that is the reason why the international agencies, and particularly the UN, is set up for. And lastly, some few reflection on what is still needed and where we need to, what needs to be done to upscale, because what has been coming out is very good example and case studies, piloting, but how to upscale it. Very few example in upscaling, but some example with the country to come from one sectoral-driven approach to more Nexus approach. Dialogue, collaboration, cooperation, experience sharing. And then seeing the SDGs as a global framework. I like the quoting from my colleague Stefan, who said that it's a kind of meal, which you don't just eat the starter and leave the main. You have to eat the main full, from starter to the dessert. And I think what the DNC is helping here is a platform for us to share and to build on. And from our perspective as international agencies and UN agencies, this is a platform where we can be connected with the countries and see where is their need and see how best we can be the humble servant for the countries. Thank you.